If you're thinking about buying a car in 2023 or 2024, you might want to consider going ahead and doing it before the end of the year because a big change is coming that was just announced. And so I'll go through that in just a second. And I'm not just talking about general cars. This is talking about the EV tax credit. If you've been following any of this, there's been a significant amount of changes that have come since the original plan that came through the Inflation Reduction Act, which allowed for people to get a $7,500 tax credit or possibly half of that if the part of the car had qualified for certain things. There's a lot of requirements, a lot of stipulations that come into play here, just like anything that the government likes to do. And so first, let's go ahead and go back to October 6th. Basically, what ended up happening was, they started talking about this change with everything coming through with the cars and how you could get a $7,500 tax credit. But then they said, hey, guess what? Next year for 2024, now this isn't the big change they just announced, but what they announced in October was that you could actually get the $7,500 tax credit off of the loan. So the credit would actually go to the dealer. They would take the money off of the car, which could potentially give you a great opportunity to save some money. Just to give you an idea of what you could save here, if you were to finance a $50,000 car and you're financing that 60 months, 8%, your payment's going to be $1,013. Well, let's just go here and say that if you instead took the $7,500 tax credit through the dealer in 2024, that's going to come down to $861. So you'd save over $150 doing that route. The problem that comes into play is all of the new things that have changed. And so the new stuff is all going to go into effect in 2024. That's what we have to be careful of. But so if you're still considering 2023, right this second, what we're looking at, though, is we have a lot of options for vehicles that could qualify. Now, I talked about the different stipulations here. I'll go through those in just a minute on what we're seeing right this second. But what you've got here is your credit available. Depending on the vehicle, you would have $3,750 on some or $7,500 on others. You could find a list like this anywhere through the internet, but you've got to remember there's a retail price cap. So depending on the type of vehicle, whether it be a truck or a van, is $80,000, or a car, which could potentially be $55,000. So Tesla did a great job of this and really making sure that everybody that's going to qualify for a lot of their different vehicles. What ends up happening, though, is if we're looking here, the real breakdown is really right this second all on your income. Part of it is on your income, I guess you say. There's parts that are with the car itself have to qualify. But you're looking at $300,000 for married couples filing jointly, $225,000 for head of households, $150,000 for all other filers. Now, what happens if your income was $300,000 last year, but it's more this year and you're married filing jointly? Well, you can actually use last year's income, but if you cross that threshold in 2024, then you have to use 2023's. So you only either use the income you have for this year or the year prior. So just be careful with that. Now, so what's the big change that has come into play? Well, there's something that if I can always remember what it is, it's Foreign Entity of Concern. So FEOC, this is China, this is Russia, this is North Korea, and this is Iran. These are all different companies or different countries that bring up the Foreign Entity of Concern. And what has happened now is the Department of the Treasury has announced that they have new rules with all of this, and this is really what they meant. They keep doing this. We saw this with other rules that have just recently come out, and they're basically saying, hey, we said something, but we want to provide a little bit more clarification. So what ends up happening here is in 2024, that you must not have vehicles that have batteries containing battery components manufactured or assembled by China, North Korea, Russia, or Iran. In addition, vehicles placed in service beginning in 2025 must not have batteries containing applicable critical minerals extracted, processed, or recycled by a FEOC. So what this means now is that your car will not qualify for the tax credit if it has this come into play. Now, hopefully the dealer is going to be able to help with that, but we don't know of the specific list of everything that comes in here of, what is actually going to qualify, because this was just released on Friday, December 1st. So make sure you keep looking. If you are looking to buy the car, the EV, and get the tax credit, though, be sure to keep an eye out on this one. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about Jazz Wealth and how we can help as fiduciary advisors, go to jazzwealth.com. If you want more educational content, be sure to check out our videos here.